Hi, I'm Madison, and I've learned a lot this semester. I've never taken an international business course, so it was just really interesting to learn more about that and know about different cultures in the world and how you can start businesses there and work with them. Yeah, so one of the first things that really stood out to me was the size of Africa. I knew it was really big, but I had no idea it was that big. And just blows my mind that the people back then were just able to get up and uproot their lives and travel to the corners of the earth with really not knowing very much about the land, not many resources to help them, and stuff like that. So that's just, I can't imagine the amount of determination and just pure energy that would have had to take. It was also really interesting to learn about Middle Eastern economics because I really didn't know much about them. And I knew they were very different from ours, but I was not aware of how much different. So, like when we learned about Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, that was really interesting for me. Starting a business in foreign countries is another thing that was fun to learn about. Just how you have to focus on like the culture, the preferences of the people there, traditions, social norms, and especially laws. Um, so the Chinese government, one example with Google, that was really interesting to learn about was just how different Google was in China compared to the United States. Just I didn't realize there were all these censorship laws and how censored the media was, and just that was just really interesting to learn about because I had no idea that like free speech wasn't. I mean, I did know, but I just wasn't aware of how different free speech is in other countries. Um, and then just how aware you must be of like different ways of business working in other countries. So like Tom Chong when he was trying to open that Jextra, and the mayor bribed him, and he was just really confused and didn't know what to do and didn't know if he should ask his supervisor or kind of just make that decision on his own. Bribery is definitely like not something I would ever have expected just because it's not accepted here, that we know of course. But it was just so open and honest in his talk with the mayor. So that was really surprising to me. Um, and then just how important it is to put the people of a country before like censorship laws or the profit of what you can make going there. So, like Google in China, again, as an example, they kind of put those censorship laws and the government's requests way before the people's, and definitely their profit before the people, kind of things like that. And it caused just like a tumultuous certain course of events that Google probably would have rather stayed out of. Um, and then the other thing I learned was the importance of strategic leadership to motivate employees and how vital that is when it comes to international business. Just because if you have employees in different areas and they have different laws and different preferences, it's really hard to kind of just like keep up with that. Um, so, strategic leadership is just something that is really important in international business, I've learned. And then it was also really fun to learn about Cheng Yen. She was a woman capable of crossing borders and learning new trade, returning to China, and just opening this business that was so successful in her field. That was mind blowing to me. And then I think the most interesting thing I learned was the lack of free speech in other countries. I just didn't realize how privileged we were to have that free speech and no censorship laws, really. So, like, I was talking to a friend about it, and she was from the Philippines, and she was just saying how, like, COVID there is just COVID. There's no conspiracy theories around it, stuff like that. So, basically, I just think we're really privileged here to not have that censorship because I mean, we have the ability to come up with all these conspiracy theories that ultimately affect people during this pandemic. But it's just crazy because, like, I never really thought of it that way how the pandemic is just the pandemic in other places. And there's all these different things built around it here, and it's become political, kind of just stuff like that. So, this class was really nice to take. I'm really happy I did. And I think the way that I'll use this knowledge that I've taken is so I plan on moving to New York State probably this September, um, and just getting into international business, hopefully. I wasn't like super into it before I took this class, but I think that'd be something really interesting. Um, so I think I would definitely use a lot of the knowledge I got here in that in that career if I do end up there. And then even if I don't get into international business, New York is already such a diverse place that like anything I've learned in this class is going to be nice to implement. Um, and then to accelerate my learning, I plan on just researching different cultures and different business cultures, preferences of people in different countries, stuff like that. So, yeah, it was a really nice class to take.